Hey, it's Wolf back again with a CD review. Today we're going to be taking a look at Everything Now from Arcade Fire. So, yeah, this is a little bit of a different sort of case here, so we got a lot to talk about with that. So, the very first thing is that before you can actually even open up the CD here, you have to take off this plastic sleeve. I'm not sure if all of them came with the plastic sleeve or not, but I bought this at a Best Buy. Actually, just bought this on sort of a whim at a Best Buy, and mine has a plastic sleeve. So you take the plastic sleeve off, and you'll see that the plastic sleeve has sort of the little stars that you see on the front there, and also on the back has the actual writing for Everything Now Presents Arcade Fire in partnership with all of those different places and stuff. So it has a bunch of info on it on both the front and the back, that little plastic sleeve. Then, once you take the plastic sleeve off, you have the actual front, which has the billboard that says Everything Now, and it's kind of like, it's an interesting picture with that billboard that, like, has a picture of the mountains in the background. I think it's a really cool picture. It definitely stands out, this album art. So, yeah, there's that. I really like it. I mean, I'm not really sure what else to say about it other than I like it. It looks cool, the colors are nice, that orange sky contrasted with that sort of purplish mountain and ground, it just looks cool, that sort of like desert billboard with the neon, and then also, like I said, that sort of like mesh between that billboard and the actual mountains in the background. It just looks really interesting, and it's also kind of got a different texture. If you actually feel it, you can tell that it's paper to like a more plasticky feel, which is interesting. So yeah, you guys can see it though. Like I said, this actual case does a lot of work. On the side, you have Arcade Fire Everything Now written there. So there's that. Continues on with the picture. And then on the back, you have more of that picture again. You have some fires. You have a person on that's kind of like a silhouette of a person on a cowboy that also has that interesting like plasticky texture. I think that this picture is also really cool with the for sale by owner Arcade Fire sign. The horse, the silhouette of the person, the mountains in the background, the desert. It's just a really cool looking picture and really well like composed. The fires and everything. I really like it. I think that the pictures that make up the album art, both the front and the back of this album, do a very good job, and they definitely make it stand out, and that's actually why I bought it when I was in the Best Buy. I was looking for another CD. They didn't have it. I was like, well, I want to buy something, so I bought this in Double or Nothing. But this one, I pretty much just bought this one. I didn't even really know what genre this was, but I bought it because I really liked the album art and it stood out to me. So, yeah. Then, moving on, if you actually open up the album, you will see more of some stuff. You will see the sponsors again that were on the back of that plastic piece, which also, speaking of, I forgot to talk about the back of the plastic piece more, but yeah, you see Everything Now Presents Arcade Fire with all the partnership places, so all those sponsors or whatever those are. But yeah, so there's that. Then on the inside you have the sponsors again, and then a picture of, I'm assuming, the band with a bunch of tech around them. I wonder if they used any of that to actually make the album or not, because there's a bunch of like older looking stuff and newer looking stuff, keyboards, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm assuming that's a picture of the band though. Always good to have a picture of your band in your album art because then people know what you look like. The inside looks cool. The inside is a little bit more plain than the outside artwork. Not really as much going on since it's just picture of the band and sponsors, but it's cool. You also have that kind of night sky background on the sides of the sponsors there. Before I move any further though, I just want to talk about the actual structural like stability of this case. Something that I've noticed as I've really kind of like kept this album is that this case doesn't really stand up that well. I take really good care of my CDs and everything, and it has kind of gotten some wear and tear on it just from like being moved around because it is one of these paper/cardboard cases. So, I mean, like, it serves its purpose and it looks good, and I think that the whole texture thing is interesting also, how they have that like sort of plasticky texture on parts of it. However, I will add that I don't think that this case could deal with a whole lot of wear and tear. I think that if it got like pushed the wrong way, it would probably end up getting ripped and stuff. As it is, mine already has gotten some like spots where the underlying like white paper has been exposed and stuff, and I have not barely even touched it. So there is that, but at the same point, really depends on how you want to present your album. Depends on, what you are aiming to do with how you choose your cases. And cardboard cases do have a lot of benefits as compared to jewel cases and stuff. And I want to do a full video eventually describing the benefits and, non-benefits, whatever, the benefits and downfalls of each type of CD case. But anyway, like I said, that's just one small little complaint, is that this doesn't necessarily hold up as well as a jewel case or some other cardboard cases that I've seen. And I think part of that also is due to the thickness. I think that the CD case might have actually been a little bit too thick for the cardboard, because I think that's part of where the issues arise, is that there's not enough to actually fill it up because it's kind of overly large. But anyway, I think if it was thinner it would have worked better. But anyway, moving on to, I guess let's go to the insert next. The insert has a very interesting style to it, and I very much enjoy this insert. It looks like pretty much like an advertisement thing, like a bunch of ads for different stuff. The song's lyrics are also on here. I mean, I could probably talk a whole 10-minute video about how much I like this insert. But like I said, it looks like some sort of advertisement catalog thing with a bunch of different products on there. And in actuality, if you look closely, you will realize that the prices, quote unquote, are actually the lengths of each song, which is something that I don't often see in CDs, is when people put lengths of their songs on there. But I think it looks really cool and is helpful because it tells you how long a song is. It also has the titles of the songs and all of the, what am I thinking of? The lyrics. All of the lyrics are on here, which is also awesome. Like I said, lyrics, such a good thing to have, because then people can sing along, can figure out what the song's saying. If you're a radio DJ, you can easily find swear words and know if you can play the song on the air or not, or if you have to edit it or whatever. I really think it's also interesting to see how they have all these little fake products that have the names of different songs on them. So Creature Comfort cereal stuff, or this chemistry soda. I think it's just a really cool thing. You can definitely tell that they put a lot of work into this insert, and honestly, it's it's the sort of thing I would hang up on my wall because it's a poster. And I think that depending on whatever happens with Arcade Fire, and if they ever end up becoming a really big band or whatever, that this could be sort of a collectible eventually, because this just looks really, really cool, this insert. And both sides have that. Both sides have that same theme of a catalog almost. And down at the bottom, on the back, you can see, the different info about where to find more stuff from the band and all that stuff. You have all the production info, all of the who did what instrument and thank you, artwork info, all that stuff. Very interesting design. I just really, really, really like the design of this, and I think that this is probably one of the best inserts that I've ever seen, just because it actually does something with it. A lot of inserts just throw some pictures of the artist at you, or throw production info at you, but they don't actually do it in a unique way. This one presents all of the info in such a cool, interesting way that's actually fun to look at and read, and find all the little almost Easter eggs throughout it and stuff. So awesome job with that insert. Moving on to the actual CD. The CD, you just have almost a little globe with EN on it, I'm assuming for Everything Now. The title of the album once again. I think it looks interesting, it looks cool. I think that the same picture is also on the insert and just found kind of throughout the album in a few different places. It almost reminds me of a television station icon, which I think is cool. It's orange, so it kind of fits in with the orange color of the sky in the cover art. And I think overall that this is a pretty good looking CD. It's a little bit plain, I'll be honest, but I also think that that kind of fits because there is so much stuff going on in the insert, and I just think it looks good. Orange is also a nice standing out color, so yeah. And the EN, I mean, it doesn't have the album name or the artist name, but EN, you kind of can assume it's Everything Now, so I think that that's also good. And I just really like that little globe icon with the EN in it, so I think that the CD looks really cool. And yeah, that's all the artwork. So honestly, overall, the artwork on this album is very, very, very good in every single regard. The cover art and the outside artwork is good. The plastic sleeve thing is an interesting idea with, how it has certain aspects of the artwork on there. The texture thing that they do is cool. The insert is absolutely amazing and literally one of the best inserts that I've ever seen. And the actual CD itself is really good too. So the artwork for this album is arguably some of the best artwork that I've seen in an album, and I think that really the only like competition, the only like other album that I've seen recently that has awesome artwork like that would probably be, I reviewed a Suede Razors album a while back that got sent to me, and that had really good artwork on it too. But this is, I'd even say that this is probably, depending on like when this video gets uploaded and stuff, this is probably the best artwork that I've seen on a CD yet, because of how much stuff it manages to accomplish and still look good and still give you all sorts of info and stuff. But anyway, let's talk about the actual music. So this album is a mix of stuff. I haven't listened to it in a while, but I remember somebody describing it as like a bunch of different songs kind of jump genres. It tends to be sort of like, I don't know, like Arcade Fire. I guess you could probably assume it. I'm assuming that all of the stuff is on streaming services and everything. Okay, so I looked it up, and they're considered an indie band, which makes sense. So it's an indie band, it's an indie album, and I think it sounds very good overall. However, and I don't really like mean to suddenly turn the, good vibes of this CD review on in their head, but I will say that I have not really listened to this album again since I originally got it. I played, I think, a song on my radio show from it. It's a good album. It's got a lot of good songs. I think people would like really enjoy it, so I do suggest checking it out. However, it doesn't necessarily stand out as much as some other albums do in my mind. So I will say it's a very good album, but it's also not anything that is, supremely spectacular and gonna make me want to listen to it every single day. But it is good, and I will give it that, and it's definitely worth a listen. I would heavily suggest doing, try to find some of the songs on YouTube or Spotify or whatever and take a listen and see if you like it, and if you do, buy a physical version of it. So, yeah, like I said, indie music, indie rock, it's good indie rock. I really do enjoy it. There's a lot of good songs on here. However, at the same point, not particularly anything that I have gone back to that many times. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in a future video. I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye. Also, one quick note that I just noticed at the end here after deciding to look up everything now, I just want to specify that the album that I got was the day version of the artwork. There's also a night version that you can find on their website and stuff. It looks similar except for like the pictures at night and stuff. And this album comes on a bunch of different formats. It also comes on cassette. So I might do a review of a cassette if I get it on cassette in the future, since cassette is my favorite format. But I just wanted to let you guys know that there is more than one version of this album artwork.